Hello, and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty RN channel, where I am passionate about helping victims of all ages and all genders overcome the fear, overcome the fear of facing the abuse to become survivors. Because over here we believe that by facing the abuse, you will be able to become a survivor. Because it's not your fault if you were a victim. Can't help if someone victimized you. However, if you are still here, that means that you have the potential to be a survivor. And one of the ways we are capable of becoming survivors is by speaking out. For too long, victims have been shamed into staying silent and protecting these abusers. So over here, we don't do moments of silence. We do moments of speaking where we speak out the names. We speak out the names of abusers as well as victims. Victims, we speak out the names of victims. And so far, on this quest, on this mission, we have been using the umbrella of justice for Shanquella Robinson. Yes, 7 months later, we're still using that as an umbrella because we believe that by getting the justice for Shanquella, we will be able to leverage that and get justice for past victims and to decrease future victims. So I'm just super excited that we are still here, keeping it hot for justice for Shanquella. Even though they've been trying to douse the fire, y'all, they've been trying to douse the fire. And I'm not gonna lie, it was close to working. You know how it be. Like, I don't know if y'all made like a little campfire before. Like a few years ago, my nephews, they were real young, and we made a little campfire in the backyard. So we basically collected a bunch of little twigs. Thank y'all for that love. I see those hearts coming up there. Y'all was making me feel real good. So anyway, we was in the backyard. We was collecting all these little twigs and little sticks and stuff to make the fire. And whenever it would burn down, it was cold. We still wanted more warmth, so we'd go out there to go find more twigs to put on the fire to keep the fire going. So, like I was saying, I'm not gonna lie, the fire was getting, was starting to feel kind of low. Like, it was time to give up, especially after all of the stuff that's been happening here and all of the deceit and the immorality, all of the stuff that's been happening. We see how this is a result of long time stuff happening, right? Along our little path here, along our little road, we discovered that we had to get political. We went to Washington, D.C., and, it was a lot to analyze there, too. How the fire, of course, was pretty low. Like, it was a low turnout, wasn't that many people there. And the overall energy of the people and all that good stuff. So I'm just excited. Y'all welcome and stuff. And even me, like I was saying, I was feeling like it's time to stop talking about this too. But a lot of people just is like, no, we're not gonna. For years we have been just kind of accepting these kind of things, but now with this social media, it's really true that people are like, we're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Anyway, so was the song back in the 80s. Twisted Sister. Anyway, a Gen X again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 52 years old, so I'm a proud Gen Xer. That's where I know that song from, because that's how we was getting down back there. Being a Gen X is very unique. It's a good little thing because we was here before the internet. We was here, we strong kids, we was the true Cabbage Patch kids. We was the latchkey kids, right? Where you got the key that you wore around your neck, and your mama said, "Don't you let nobody in my house when I'm gone." And for some reason, not for some reason, but we knew what Mama said. Mama said go, right? How that went down like that. So and two, we as generation had to cook for ourselves, had to do laundry, had to take that pillowcase to the laundromat to get those clothes washed and all that good stuff, right? Gen X, we some strong ones. So 52 years old, proud Gen Xer. Also the proud mother of 3 adult children, 2 XY chromosomes and 1 XX. I'm so grateful for my little XX because it's a very unique experience to be the proud mother of an XX because it's the only time where you have 2 uterus in one body. It's a unique experience for those of you who have birthed some children into the existence, and if you've had the pleasure of putting in both genders. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I'm just so grateful that we didn't let none of that happen. We didn't let them, we've been ducking the water. We've been ducking the water, even though we've been trying to douse it, but we over here keeping it high for Shanquella because those were some of Shanquella's last words. And too many of us was touched by this whole thing. So, unfortunately, government or powers that be, all whoever it is out there that's trying to stop us from getting justice, it's not going to work. The time's up for these kind of things to happen because the universe is just lining things up. Like I said, there's been some, I've grown a lot since this whole situation. A lot of stuff that I'm doing today, like I was telling you about a church, right? And me having this this ministry, like you can see, it's still hard for me to even talk about it, but I'm doing it, and I'm grateful that it's working, and I know that like I don't know. I love y'all. I see y'all over there. I'm gonna get some of these comments. But anyway, did I finish my story? Did I finish my introduction? Oh yeah, 30 years of nursing experience, and that's how I come to know y'all. Because of that, we got started here on this here. What is this here? With Shanquella. There was a video that surfaced that we all saw with our eyes. And that's why they wanted us to stop watching it, y'all, so we can get to this moment now to where people didn't forgot about it, right? Or they don't remember it, they didn't see it and stuff like that, so there can be doubt. We're trying to stretch it out to cast this doubt, right? So along the way, like I was saying, we became political, or at least I know that I did. And we started talking more about voting, the power of voting. Along the way, discovered all this stuff about femicide, discovered that. And, started seeing how there was multiple victims out there. And it wasn't just women. We started to see that there's also men who have been abused, and that we have to make sure that we keep the voice open for victims of all ages and all genders, because abusers come in both genders, right? There's some XXs out there that's pretty vicious, like we talked last week on the one ex football player and stuff who got tricked out by the XX vicious little something. So just to show that spirit is dwells often into a lot of people over there. I see y'all. I love y'all. And I love also the commitment that we have in here as a community with keeping the justice for Shanquella, right? This is, something that brought us all together and stuff. And we can see how, like, I didn't want to come out this way like this, but it's just how things are. It's just how things are with the whole politics stuff, and that we see that who is on our side and who is responsible for allowing all this delusional thinking to get out there and stuff like that. So, just the other day when I had the one video showing how these judges were prohibiting people from going to church, prohibiting, believers and faith, people from coming together. And that's why, the churches are cold, right? They're cold because it's nobody's in there. Nobody's in there because they made it against the law. Can you believe that? And I was just saying how I wasn't really, I didn't really pay any attention to it because I wasn't a church goer and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just going where the Spirit is telling me to go and doing what the Spirit is telling me to do. And I'm just excited that I'm here to be used. Use me. And I'm grateful for all my beautiful beauties and beautifuls over here. Like, we have really been through a lot together. We got Ernie up in here. Hey, Ernie, welcome. Who has been here. Hey, and Helen also from way back, and Courtney. Yay! All right. Courtney was actually the first person, the first subscriber to always. Courtney was sending me emails. You're gonna talk about Shanquella. Courtney made sure that we stayed focused on Shanquella and that I didn't stop talking about Shanquella in the beginning. Courtney, whenever I would even try to talk about something else, Courtney would be right off in the chat. Okay, that's great about so and so, but what about Shanquella? What about Shanquella? So thank you, Courtney. It's great to see you. And LaJessica, what's up? LaJessica saying hello to the chat up in here. We got OGs up here in the house. So tonight, this was kind of an impromptu too, where I just feel like every time when I get ready to say, okay, well, we've done all we can here, let's move on. I don't know. It just don't sit well. It don't sit well in my spirit. And now that, thank you, LaJessica says, smash the like button on your way in. Yes, I appreciate hitting and smashing the like button. Thank you so much, LaJessica. Let me see. LaJessica got her? Yeah, she got the reach. Thank you so much for being a great moderator. What's up, JP6 in the hizzy? JP6 says, what's up, everybody? Hello, RN. Yes. Yeah, so tonight we're gonna I'm just grateful how all these things are tying in together, y'all. They're tying in together, and we can see how the Democrats are responsible for this. I hate to break it to y'all, so we're gonna do some Shanquella stuff, but I want to show y'all this one video. I'm sure to y'all a little bit later on this. It's old, it's dated back old, and the show where when they kind of our families, as the Black community and stuff started to kind of break apart, how that's why where we're in the position where we're at today, where we don't have any unity. The unity is not here. It's not here. It's not here. It's not here. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining together here, right? Like I said, strength in numbers, and to show how we got to come together, guys. We got to stick together, strength in numbers. So, without further ado, we're going to get started with what did I say I was going to do? I'm doing old stuff. And with this kind of just like a recap, just so we keeping everything fresh in our mind. And of course, pointing out the clues, right? Because a lot of times when they tell us these new stories, which is what they've been doing this whole time, and a lot of me feels like when we saw how they edited the Wikipedia page and stuff, it's like they're determined to squash this whole Shanquella thing. And I'm just like, it just makes me more determined to say, no. We're not going to pretend that we didn't see Shanquella get her neck broke you know, like all this stuff didn't take place and stuff, and that it wasn't acknowledged then. So for the FBI to come back, months later and say that it just lets me know that all this stuff is fake. Like they're just making up stories. They're making up stories and not realizing that, we was, listening to this from the very beginning. So I wanted to start. Okay, yeah. The secret of selling the Negroes. That's going to be the one of our topics. And let's see here. And Diane, all right, Diane Nash, my yep, says, hello, RN and beautifuls. Keep it hot. Yes. Keep it hot just for Shanquella, Bernarda Robinson. Yep. And and Tamika, what's going on, Tamika? Tamika says hello and blessings. All right. I'm so grateful for y'all. She says hello and blessings to all beautiful souls here. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. What's up, 80s baby? 80s baby in the house saying salute to the people. Yeah, and La Jessica, I'm feeling good here. So our first one, is this not the one? Our first one, we're going back like 6 and 7 months here. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is here. Wait. Okay, so here's our first one here. Gonna be, wait, I think let me just check the date on this other one here first. Because that's 5 months. Okay, this one had to be the first one here. This here is 7 months away. God damn it. All right, bear with me, y'all. Here I go. I got it. This is the one. All right, here we go. All right, so let me share the screen. Share the screen. Maybe we got sound on right there. Here we go. All right. So this here is dated November 25th. It says arrest warrant issued in Mexico in Shanquella Robinson case. This here is WCNC News, right? So I'm assuming this is a reputable news source here. Jessica said, oh yeah. No, that's not it. That's JP6. What's up, JP6? JP6 saying what's up to the folks. JP6 said, this case will take a while. Yeah. That's true, y'all. I can always keep saying we need to be patient. All right, so let's go on back.
We'll start with the latest in the death investigation of a Charlotte woman in Mexico. The State Attorney General's Office of Baja California Sur.
All right, so he's saying the State Attorney General Office from Baja Sur. My first question is that when did Mexico get on board when just the week before this, like November 16th, 17th time, they were saying that no foul play, no hanky panky, no issue. Now all of a sudden the State Attorney General for Baja California Sur is filed charges, right? This was the first curveball that they threw us, right? Some of us, we probably oversighted this, that, hey, when did they, I thought they said they wasn't with it, right? Like it wasn't nothing there.
Has filed charges in the killing of Shanquella Robinson. The agency also says the extradition process is now starting. Robinson died while on vacation with a group of friends in Cabo last month. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre spoke to an attorney about these charges.
The charge is for a femicide, which is the killing of a woman. Now, in the U.S., that would be equivalent to a homicide, and it could mean anywhere from 40 to 60 years behind bars. The attorney.
So, of course, when did they stop using the word femicide, too? These were more clues, right? In the beginning, they was openly using this word. And look at this. They talking about this time and stuff. When did this cease? When did this cease? This is how we know that Mexico was just pulling our big toe. No, pulling our pinky toe. Pulling our pinky toe with the corn on it.
I spoke to says more charges could be filed in Mexico, but also here in the U.S.
Oh, that's why I was telling y'all. In the beginning, they kept saying that charges can be filed in the U.S. November 25th. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit. That's what I'm saying. So all of a sudden, back in April, all of a sudden now there's nothing y'all could do about it. Y'all already said back here in November that this is some stuff you could do. All right, so let's pull back a little bit here. See what this lady say.
Says more charges could be filed in Mexico, but also here in the U.S.
Y'all hear that?
Any role that anybody played, they are likely to have to deal with some level of prosecution in Mexico as it relates to this, or potentially in the States, again, if any of those crimes happen on American soil.
Shanquella Robinson died after suffering a broken neck and severe...
Okay, so here we have the news showing this death certificate. The death certificate, right? The death certificate here in the news, November the 25th. This because this is the official document issued. Okay? The official document issued right here. And look what it says. Severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, right? This here, official document issued.
Spinal cord injury in Cabo last month, according to her death certificate. Attorney James Exum says, despite various accounts of her death, that is the most reliable.
Wow. Okay. That is the most reliable.
With the medical side, and I do homicides, that's what you can rely on more than anything else, because that's just science.
Woo! What he said. Did y'all hear that? Science. So we got to be tripping on those autopsy reports. I'm pulling this back just a little bit more, then I'm going to bring the document that explains the differences between the death certificate and the autopsy report. Let's see what this dude said one more time. Say that again, sir. One more again.
That is the most reliable.
With the medical side, and I do homicides, that's what you can rely on more than anything else, because that's just science.
The state attorney general's office of Baja California Sur opened the femicide case against...
He said that's just science, right? And that's what we do over here. We do math and science. Math and science. That's just science. The death certificate. Just science. We're going to finish it because only like two and a half minutes.
Against the person allegedly responsible for killing Robinson.
All right. Whoa. I'm sorry. Let me just pull back a little bit. Read that.
Opened the femicide case against the person allegedly responsible for killing Robinson.
Oh, it's in Spanish. I guess this is supposedly their case here. Femicide.
The agency filed an arrest warrant and extradition procedures to be carried out.
That type of offense that the person faces between 40 years minimum, 60 years maximum.
The investigation remains open as the agency works to identify anyone else involved in her death. Exum says more people could be prosecuted.
I forgot about that.
Left Mexico under the guise that she died from alcohol poisoning, and it's clear that it's not that. Then once you've left Mexico and come here, that could be an issue, because you can do it by commission or omission.
Now, did y'all hear that? I'm gonna pull it back again. This here is showing the FBI. Y'all want us to show y'all some more stuff y'all can get these people on? Just like y'all did with Al Capone, y'all got him on the tax evasion. Y'all knew he was doing all kind of stuff. Look at all y'all got a plethora of things to choose to choose from. Let me pull it back a little bit more. Listen to this here. Listen to what you say, Deacon. Y'all get these people on. Listen at this.
Poisoning, and it's clear that it's not that.
Wait. I just didn't go back enough. Let me go back a wee bit more.
More people could be prosecuted.
The fact that they left Mexico under the guise that she died from alcohol poisoning, and it's clear that it's not that, then once you've left Mexico and come here, that could be an issue because you can do it by commission or omission.
All right.
He adds any false statements made could be seen as obstruction of justice. The FBI Charlotte field office also opened its own investigation.
Ooh, okay. So here we go again with more proof that these people supposedly had opened up a case, right? So the death certificate was the document that was being that was spoken about. Not the autopsy from Mexico, none of that stuff, right? Because the death certificate is the only official document issued. It's like a birth certificate or passport, not the autopsy. And we just heard this attorney to support that statement, even though it's just a fact. Just like a driver's license is a fact, right? So let's finish this up. Wow. I love when they put their foot in their mouth by, having all this exposure here and then to try to say some new stuff, like the old stuff isn't just as easily repeated by just pressing play. And look what I can do. I can rewind it to make you say it again.
Going to come here, that could be an issue because you can do it by commission or omission.
He adds any
like when they came over to Mama's house and told Mama that wasn't no fight, none of that kind of stuff. Here goes some more stuff right here. FBI, y'all taking notes on this? Are y'all listening?
False statements made could be seen as obstruction of justice. The FBI Charlotte field office also opened its own investigation.
So if there's evidence that there was some plan before they got to Mexico, yeah, that would be a problem. Once you're back on U.S. soil, to the extent that there's an investigation here and you lie about it, you conceal things, you try to run, those could all be things that create charges against you here.
I reached out to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security on extradition efforts and have not heard back yet.
Wow. So they was being evasive back then too, this Homeland Security. All right. I really do enjoy getting these old ones back there. Regiment 65, what's going on? Says, wow, they still not arrested. I know, right? We're going on a year here. And not only are they not arrested, but they got the FBI saying that they don't even, have enough. At least Mexico is, lying to us, saying that they trying to start a case. They not even giving us the consideration to tell us a lie. At least lie to us. They're straight out saying that ain't nothing here. They straight gaslighting us. Yeah. So no arrest, no nothing. There's not enough evidence according to FBI. They say not. They ain't got enough. JP6 says they will get theirs one way or another. Yeah. All right, there we got some greetings for our Regiment 6 up in the house and the people. Diane Nash says, RN, we have to have continued patience. We all on they bumpers with Cafe of Knowledge. Also, we gonna get this justice for Shanquella Robinson. Yep. All right. I know y'all. Thank y'all so much because we do have to stay encouraged and all that good stuff. JP says, I want justice for Shanquella here. We do. What's up, PM Channel? PM Channel says, hello at All Around Natural Beauty RN. Moderators, all in the chat. All right. We do have some Stuff going there. Okay, so y'all started out with 7 months, right? So then the next one is going to be 5 months. Now watch this here. All right, so that was 7 months ago. 7 months ago, then all of a sudden, here we go. With 5 months later, all right?
New details tonight, though, on the Mexican investigation into the death of a 25-year-old Charlotte woman while in Cabo.
Mexico prosecutors discussed their investigation.
Wait.
We can share some new details tonight, though, on the Mexican investigation into the death of a 25-year-old Charlotte woman.
The Mexican investigation.
While in Cabo.
Mexico prosecutors discussed their investigation into Shanquella Robinson's case during a recent news conference. Robinson went missing while vacationing in Mexico with a group of friends. She was later found dead, suffering a broken neck and a severe spinal cord.
But do you see how even, like, why did he say that Robinson went missing? And went missing. She was never missing. So just slipping in this little wrong. I mean, what is this? I never heard. Why would he say that?
Injury. The state prosecutor from Baja California Sur says the investigation is ongoing and that he's looking to extradite an unnamed suspect to the United States. He says Mexican authorities are also investigating others who may have been involved beyond the single suspect.
There is no impunity in a case that is being fully investigated. Right now, it was important to obtain, above all, the judicial order of the presumed person responsible for these unfortunate events, but also other situations of criminal responsibility and complicity.
The prosecutor says the investigation is a collaboration with American authorities.
Ooh! Did y'all hear that? It was supposedly a collaboration back in January. What? Wasn't they just saying that they, Mexico was saying, work with us, or they was saying that they wasn't work, but now they saying the collab. I'm gonna pull back just a little bit, make sure that make sure I heard that correctly. That's why I like to hear the old stuff. He said collaboration. All right, let's go back here. And keep in mind, remember in the beginning, Mexico said, oh, no foul play, no hanky-panky here. No. Alcohol poison, alcohol intoxication. Now, all of a sudden, this guy is up here posing, right?
Important to obtain, above all, the judicial order of the presumed person responsible for these unfortunate events, but also other situations of criminal responsibility and complicity.
The prosecutor says the investigation is a collaboration with American authorities. He says federal investigators have requested interviews conducted by Mexican authorities of Robinson's friends who were with her on that trip.
What?
We can share some new details tonight, though.
Did y'all hear that? Right? So that means they lied to us at the end, right? They were supposed to have been already working together, right? It was a collaboration, right? Liars. These lies, 80s baby said, justice for Shanquella Robinson. Tamika says, all the love to you, queen. No one would have known until you spoke up. That's our mission. Speak up and speak out. Yes, that's what we do over here. We speak. And two, we have highlighted other victims over here too. Once we discovered, did our little research on this whole femicide thing, we started recognizing that first we was pointing the finger at Mexico. Mexico got their own problem with femicide, and they don't do nothing about their own people over there doing this thing. We was saying that. Then all of a sudden, we had to open our eyes and wake up to the fact that America, we got our own problems over here too, only we call it domestic violence, But women are being, taken out of here sent to the upper room, on a, daily basis here, and, stuff ain't happening. So we got our own problem over here, needless to say, here in America too. Yes. Thank you, Tamika, for reminding us of our mission, where we are speaking up and out for victims all over. Regiment 65 says they don't want nobody to worship God. Yes, okay. And that was one of the reasons why I was talking about the other day. Regiment 65 said they don't want nobody to worship God. They wanting everybody to worship the state. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Like the video showing how, they prohibited people from coming to church. And one of the reasons why I believe that was done, so, when this time is happening now, people aren't sensitive as much because you have been taken away from your faith, right? So you don't have that to secure. You don't have that security of that, the comfort of gathering together, and also having a moral compass. So, yeah, it's a good point, and I felt like, the churches were targeted for that very reason, to where now nobody is wanting to go back, right? They're using this COVID thing as an excuse not to go back. And then now, folks have been doing whatever it is that they want to do. And, they pretty much made it almost a crime to, talk about God. It's really unbelievable. It's unbelievable. That's why I can't help but to like chuckle at it, because I'm like, is this real? We live long enough, you hear about things, but when the things start happening, that's the other great thing about being Gen Xers, that, was here when all this was being predicted, and now to actually be living through it, men dressing up as women and women dressing up as men, and all this stuff, right? All this stuff that's going on. All right, so those were the two that I wanted to show you on that. Let me just flip back over here. But yeah, it's pretty serious. Let me see. Was this my next little section? Pretty serious what's going on here. Oh yeah, that's deep there. Ra, what's going on, Ra? Ra says, hey, Irene, everyone in chat. All right, I ain't seen you in a minute, Ra. What's going on? Sandra IG says, hey, Irene, everyone. What's going on? All right. Hey. Deidre says, evening, all. Everybody coming out. That's what I'm saying. Y'all see that name, Shanquella, and people's like, no, we coming in for her. One of the other things that I wanted to, that was coming up on my mind or my radar to think and talk about was, all right, so we haven't heard, we didn't really hear a whole bunch from Shanquella's father and stuff. And I just remember, maybe back in April or something, there was a news clip of him putting a headstone on Shanquella's burial spot, months later. So I was just thinking, like, there was no, why all these months later that no headstone, and then that the dad had to do it. I just was just curious about, like, what that was all about. And the fact that, I didn't see the dad at any of these marches and stuff. Like, I was also curious about that. Like, what is going on in that? It's a reason why our families are so divided and stuff like that too. And I think that it's a hindrance for us as a whole, right? That even in the midst of this, that we still have this division of this, energy towards, the other parent too. Like, I don't know. Pray. All right. right, so Ra is telling the people to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Ra. Appreciate that. All right, Denethia Jones says hello, all around at your beauty and moderators. Yes, thank y'all so much here. So we still coming in here, and yeah. I'm scared to do this stuff here. All right, so our next one is all right, so I wanted to show y'all this, like I said, my rationale or my reason to go back and trace, because at one point, like we did some great stuff here. When did the thing happen to where, is this what I wanted to do? No, it ain't. When did the thing happen where, okay, I think this is what I want to play. And then, no, it's not. I already played that. All right, so I'm gonna do my my old Negro video here. I think this got something to do with why there's this targeting of our community for this division and this separation and stuff like that. Like even the coming to the knowledge of this whole this liking or the lack of love amongst our people for one another and stuff, right? We need love. We need love. Because love will keep us together. Is this what I need to play here? No, it's not. All right, so I'm gonna play this here for the Gen X folks. Oh, here we go. Where am I moving? All right, so this here is kind of a, that might be kind of loud. All right, so this here, it's from 1954. A lot of times, see, when they put some years, like generation in between things, and then people don't talk about it, and then they take stuff out of books, or they make little changes and stuff like that, people forget the history, or they don't know about it, right? The young people, like, remember when I had showed y'all the young people that couldn't read the clock, right? Or some of the, it's crazy, right? But it only happens when things aren't passed down and they don't talk about anymore. So I just want to play some of this to show y'all how they I hate to talk like this and say they did these things, but these are strategic things that if it's like I was telling y'all about the flea in the glass jar, right? So we've been conditioned, y'all. We've been conditioned. So we need to break free from the conditioning if we want to be free and actually make some real changes. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck in this whole little thing here. All right, so this here is titled "The Secret of Sailing the Negro." Sailing the Negro, selling the Negro, right? It's a secret to it. This was from 1954, right? Sit back, y'all, and try not to be like offended at. Just like listen to the message, right? Get your popcorn out. All right, look here. So this here is a message, urgent message before they had the fax machines, but this is the fax machine. It's from Washington, D.C. 3:25 p.m. says the average Negro wage earner today gets 4 times more money than a few years ago. The Secretary of Commerce of the United States said today. So the government is showing here that they were targeting the Negroes. Look at here, 1954, right? Secretary of State saying, look here, these Negroes got some money. They got some money here. Says his income has increased more rapidly than the income of all other Americans. So in 1954, the Negro man income has increased more rapidly than the income of all other Americans. Of all. Y'all hear that? What happened to where the Negro man's income has decreased to where, I mean, like, what happened? Right? So this video is going to tell us something. It says, the Commerce Secretary said he pointed out the family income of the Negro is today, and then I can't see the rest of it.
We'll move that over there. You got the level on that, Joe?
Hey, how's this video coming through?
All right, the light's hot enough.
Don't forget to dolly it close.
All right, be sure and stay clear of number 2 camera. And all set.
Subscribe.
Stand by.
Wow, well, look at here. Now, sometimes, I was getting ready to skip over here, but look at here. Here's a clue. Look at y'all, a clue. All right. Presented with the cooperation of the Johnson Publishing Company. Boy, Johnson just been they've been targeting us since the 50s. Look at there. Look at there. Publishers of Ebony, Tan, Jet, and Hue. Okay. Y'all young people probably bored to death with all this music and intro stuff. Back in the day, we used to do intros and all that stuff really meant something. Now y'all just want to skip right on to it. Y'all don't like no kind of foreplay at all. Right. That's nice. That's right. They said, we acknowledge with thanks the cooperation of the United States Department of Commerce in preparing this film. So look here, see the government's in that's the government there.
Hello, I'm Bob Trout. I've got a story here that I think is big, really big, because it's bound to have a terrific impact on business. I'm talking about a new market, a big new market, millions upon millions of new prospects with $15 billion to spend.
Wow, he said B with the B, he said billion.
A terrific impact on business. I'm talking about a new market, a big new market, millions upon millions of new prospects with $15 billion to spend.
$15 billion to spend. Now, how does he know that the Negro have $15 billion to spend?
That's right. I said 15 billion. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is.
The surprising thing is that it's a fresh market, still full of opportunities. It grew up so fast got so big in a hurry that few of us realize its scope.
Wow.
Now, these days, nobody's likely to pass up chances to sell. And yet right here in our own front yard, there's a neglected market.
So do you think that they destroyed it all out of jealousy? Like, if in 1954 was the biggest community, growth financially, how is it so depressed today? We're going to have to do some more digging.
There's money waiting to be spent. To get the story of this market, to be able to tell you the secret of selling the Negro, we did a lot of digging. We talked to leading businessmen, the customers, and the salesmen. We went to Washington, D.C. We set up cameras and other key points around the nation. And out of this all, there emerged a story, the story of a new market. Yes, this is the market we're talking about, the new Negro family. Their name is Wells or Wilson, Smith or Brown or Alexander or Breen. They live in Chicago, in Atlanta or New York, in Detroit, St. Louis, Los Angeles, any one of 1,000 cities and towns. All over the country, families such as this are enjoying new prosperity. They have new interests, new standards of living.
Look at this.
Buying power they've never enjoyed before. They're good prospects for practically all types of goods and services. All too often, though, they're overlooked prospects. Why? Because of some good, valid reason? No. They're overlooked because of mistaken ideas.
Wow.
Because of out-of-date ideas about how the Negro lives and how he buys. The truth of the matter is that the Negro lives pretty much the same as other folks. He buys pretty much the same way, too. But just the same, a lot of old doubts and opinions keep cropping up over and over again.
I don't like to do business with Negroes. They're drifters. You can't keep track of them.
Yes, although a lot of people think that way, the truth is that 1 out of every 3 Negro families living in cities today owns its own home.
Wow. 1 out of 3 in 1954. What happened, y'all?
That figure comes directly from the United States Bureau of Census.
Maybe so, but Negroes are poor credit risks.
Not more of a credit risk than any other group. Actually, the Negro homebuyer meets his payments faithfully, often more faithfully than other race groups in the same economic level.
What? Did y'all hear that?
That's the information we got from people who ought to know, the National Association of Real Estate Boards.
Wow, these are reputable sources. Is this a dream? What the hell?
Well, maybe, but I've always heard that Negroes buy shoddy, poor quality merchandise.
No, it's just the other way around. According to leading researchers, in proportion to population and income, Negroes buy more quality products than any other comparable United States group. You see, there are a lot of confused notions about the Negro customer. But when you dig right down and find out about them, they just don't hold water. Negroes own homes. They meet their payments faithfully. They buy good brands of merchandise. So why let a lot of old-fashioned ideas hurt profits? Take a look at the real facts. Here in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, some amazing facts and figures about this new market have been uncovered. For a first-hand report, we would like to take you directly to the United States Department of Commerce to hear this story from the Secretary of Commerce himself. Here is the Honorable Sinclair Weeks, the Secretary of Commerce of the United States.
In the Department of Commerce, we are constantly alert to trends that mean a healthier national economy, better business for the nation as a whole. Recently, we have been interested in a rising young market, one that represents a huge potential for goods and services. I'm referring to the new Negro market.
So, look, if we were earning this kind of money, do you see how it's, we were more Republicans, y'all? We weren't just sitting around waiting for handouts. Said the fastest growing, they said the fastest of all. The fastest of all. That was us back in 1954. I mean, I know that sounds like a long time to some of you young people, but look at how, something happened to change this. This is like Back to the Future when Biff got that that almanac. Let me stop. Some of y'all probably don't even know what I'm talking about.
The tremendous buying power of this group is backed, of course, by an increased earning power. The average Negro family's income is at a record high. In fact, since 1939, it has increased more than the average income of all other Americans.
Wow.
Just take a look at a few figures. An official Department of Commerce report shows that at least 1/3 of the Negroes living in cities earn from $2,000 to $5,000 a year. Today, the average Negro wage earner brings home a paycheck 4 times larger than the one he collected in 1939. As a whole, the Negro market has a total income of about $15 billion every year.
Wow, see, they counting our pockets on that. Like, wait a minute, these Negroes aren't so bad. So, if we weren't so bad, then they have figured out a way to still get this money, but
and after taxes, Negro families still have many billions of dollars to spend.
Wow.
Here is a buying power that cannot help but have a tremendous effect on our national economy and on business prosperity in general. When these dollars are spent for a wide range of goods, services, and employment, business everywhere is bound to feel the impact.
This new buying power has resulted in a class Negro market, a profitable, above-average income group of consumers. For example, the nation's largest newspaper and magazine research organization, Daniel Starch and staff.
He said above average. So when did we get below average?
Reports these significant figures. More than 51% of the readers of Ebony magazine have a record player in their homes. Almost 64% own a television set. And almost 78% enjoy the convenience of an electric refrigerator.
Look, he got the drinks up in there. Woo-hoo. But yeah, that's one thing. Black folks, we gonna have the stuff. So.
It is also a fact, and this is from the magazine The Food Field Reporter, that Negroes spend almost $3 billion a year for food alone.
Wow. we wasn't eating chitlins and hog moms, huh?
Per capita, they buy more cosmetics, drugs, and toiletries than anyone else in the country. And their children are better educated, too, because since 1930, enrollment in Negro colleges is up 2,500%.
Wow! What happened, y'all? See? Y'all let them put the jar back on, right? And people stop doing this much. Look here. Look at this young man working hard, studying.
But really, to recognize the importance of this class Negro market, we must realize that something has been happening economically in our country. People are on the move. The population is shifting. The makeup of metropolitan populations today is different than it was just a few short years ago. To give you a better idea of what we mean, we set up several cameras, candid cameras, in a number of shopping locations. Take a look at these shoppers.
Oh, look at that. These black people mixing all up in there. They're not on one side of the street. There's little white people there. There's a black lady there.
Notice what a large proportion of them are Negroes. What's the reason? It's simply this. Negro families are moving into the cities where there are more jobs.
This is when they leaving about the South, going off into these cities and stuff.
Opportunities. Here they find occupations with more prestige and security, jobs that pay more money. As a result, Negro families today often make up the largest part of central city consumer prospects.
Wow.
A shoe store in Chicago's Loop, for example, reports that more than 50% of its customers are Negroes. In another case, a drugstore located at a transfer point in a non-Negro neighborhood finds that its Negro customers total 25%.
But look, it's clearly more white people out there than black people. So I'm not sure how great that says about, if we're spending that much, but I guess we have always been known for spending a lot, right? Look, that's a lot.
The trend is plain. The new Negro families today are moving into more populated areas, to the cities, where there are more stores, more buying opportunities.
Oh, this makes sense. Because I know, this is when folks started migrating, leaving up out of the South, going to, places like all the cities that they mentioned. Interesting.
Since 1940, in San Francisco alone, the Negro market has increased by 89%. In Chicago, by 81%. Houston, Texas, 45%. Philadelphia, 50%.
We was right there, y'all running stuff. What happened? How are we? We should have been in charge of everything with the position that we were in. What happened?
The impact of this new buying force is so tremendous that actually in 14 major United States markets, a product cannot be number one without Negro support.
What?
A product
They said a product cannot be number one unless it has Negro support. Move that back just a little bit.
Houston, Texas, 45%. Philadelphia, 50%. The impact of this new buying force is so tremendous that actually in 14 major United States markets, a product cannot be number.
Look at that, y'all. New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Detroit, New Orleans, Memphis, Birmingham, St. Louis, Atlanta, Houston, Cleveland, and Los Angeles. A product cannot be number one unless
for one without Negro support.
Wow.
A product must have the backing of this big new buying power to be a leader in the field. What do you have to sell? Chewing gum or cars? Toothpaste or transportation?
And we just gave all that power away, or we didn't harness it. I think we still are in this position, but we're not aware of it. And it's so splashed out because we're not together. So I'm saying, y'all, is strength in numbers.
Whatever it is, here are millions of prospects. And these prospects are everywhere. Negro customers can no longer be pigeonholed. They cannot be classified as prospects who trade only in certain stores, certain neighborhoods. Today, Negroes shop downtown. They shop in supermarkets.
She don't look like she's trying to go through the back door or nothing like that. And it looked like the white lady was, happily giving her change and making the transaction here. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times, they may paint a picture a little bit differently than what stuff really is, right? That looked pretty peaceful to me.
They shop in small neighborhood stores. They'll buy from anyone who wants to sell to them. But we all know that before you can sell to customers, you've got to get to know them. You must understand something about them. What do the Negro customers buy? Why do they buy? How do you sell to them?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find
hear
out.
the opinion of men who have spent a lifetime studying the buying habits of customers the world over. Here is what sales psychologists have to say about selling to the Negro.
Oh.
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. Now,
Woo! The secret of selling it's funny, but I'm like, okay, this was really happening, right? They really 1954.
there's nothing unusual about that. People want to be recognized. They need recognition. That's basic in all of us. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated. This need is a very real and important one. It shows up even in many of the Negro's shopping habits. Anyone who sells or wants to sell to the Negro customer should know about some of these habits.
Wow.
3 habits in particular play a big part in every sales transaction.
It's here.
To begin with, most Negroes buy by brand.
Uh-oh. They had our tickets back in 1954. They said most Negroes buy by a brand. That is he lying? Is he lying?
Ask for products by name. They're quick to turn down off-brands.
Wow.
You wonder why?
Yeah.
Well, listen to what this customer is thinking.
That last hat I bought just didn't hold up at all.
You see, for a long time, the Negro has been sold a lot of shoddy, second-class merchandise. So now he asks for name brands in order to make sure he gets his money's worth.
Wow.
Buying by brand. That's the first important Negro buying habit. Now for the second.
Okay.
The Negro buys good quality merchandise. Symbols of quality and prestige are very important to the Negro customer. This woman, for example, is buying fine crystalware.
So lately I've been hearing, let me make myself big real quick. Stuff saying about, this critical race theory is, not not legit, or, all this stuff is kind of made up. Well, when I see this, and the white people look like they was, happy to make sales and stuff. So it didn't seem like she was trying to say, no Negroes allowed in here to do any shopping. I don't know, so, and then, like I said, this here was made in 54, so, I don't know, grain of salt here.
But she is also buying the admiration and approval of her friends and relatives. Listen to her thoughts.
My, isn't it beautiful? I can hardly wait to show it to Sally and Joan.
It's a well-known fact that many Negro customers are influenced by the opinions of others. What their friends may think of a certain item often decides whether or not the sale is made. So remember, the Negro buys quality merchandise. That's the second important point. And here's the third thing to remember when selling to a Negro customer. When he specifically asks for one thing, don't try to sell him something else. Don't try to switch him at the point of sale. If you do, he'll probably react something like this.
Doesn't he think I've got the money to pay for it?
There's a reason for this reaction. Again, because he's had experience with cheap merchandise, the Negro resents being offered a substitute. He wants to be sold on quality, not price.
Wow.
The Negro buys by brand, he buys quality, and he doesn't like to be switched at point of sale. These are the keys to selling the Negro customer.
Wow.
Another point. The Negro family does things together,
Wow.
As a group,
Woo.
the
Did y'all hear that? These were key points. He said we do things as a family, as a group. Move this back, son, because we definitely ain't doing this today. All right. Listen.
brand, he buys quality, and he doesn't like to be switched at point of sale. These are the keys to selling the Negro customer. Another point. The Negro family does things together, as a group. The family works as a unit. It lives as a unit, and it buys as a unit. When you sell to one member, you many times sell to all. It's also true that many places of entertainment are still closed to the Negro. So he spends more of his money for the things that are available to him, often for items that are considered luxuries.
Oh, okay. So he's saying that things are still closed off. So there is some segregation going on here.
Another trait of the Negro market is the fact that it is a pre-sold market. We know that the Negro buys by brand, and he buys the brands that he knows something about. Where does the Negro buyer get this information? We know that Negro customers are turning more.
Wow. Y'all see that? Look at this targeting.
And more to the publications that are tailored specifically to their needs, that give them the news and the information that they want to read about. Many leading businessmen and companies already know this. That's why so many of them are taking this direct, sure route of reaching the Negro customer. The vice president of advertising of the Gruen Watch Company, for example, says this.
In many important cities throughout the United States, Negroes are important customers of the credit jeweler. Therefore, it seemed that Ebony magazine would be a very important advertising medium for us.
Wow. 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 Anybody have any clues on how we went from that